What I think you're going to see is he'll probably get a senior officer counseling on this type of behavior and how he should never have put himself in that position. And I think they're going to judge his performance throughout his entire command tour to determine his suitability for a future in the Navy. I don't think we should relieve him off the cuff just to satisfy some social desire for political correctness. I think we have to look at the sum total of his performance on board throughout his executive officer tour and now his commanding officer tour before they make any snap decision. And the investigation should run its course as well.
Perhaps this is a better question for you, Commander, because we have, we do have certain rules that are enforceable in the civilian world. Are we trying to Are we imposing those values on people who are in a wartime scenario where they have to vent and just blow off steam, as the captain has claimed?
Well, quite frankly, when you look at imposing civilian values, I think it's the other way around. I think the civilians look at the military and say, not only should you represent our values, but they should be represented to the highest standards possible, and they should exceed civilian values and norms, quite frankly, because we are the standard bearers worldwide for how the United States and our military are perceived. So don't think you should look down on that. As a matter of fact, you should hold the military to a higher standard of performance and behavior and decorum.
Well, I'm happy to do that. But, Commander, I mean, this fellow showed such poor judgment. Does that not reflect on his broader judgment?
Well, I looked at the video in toto this afternoon and took the time to watch the entire thing. I mean, there is clearly foul language in it. But then again, if we were going to do about that, we would have been without a commander-in-chief in President Clinton and be without a vice president today. When you look at some of the actions that go on in the video, they are of poor quality. When the executive officer makes a statement that the commanding officer and the admiral that are aboard can't be held accountable for what's this, that doesn't fly. A captain is a captain, and he is responsible for what goes on his ship, period, dot, end of statement. The fact that he is fleeted up to that position, he should know that today. And the fact that the admiral was the senior officer embarked, I would find it difficult to believe that his staff did not become aware of this video, watch some of it, yet probably said nothing to him.
Well, Commander, that actually is the issue I want to pursue. When I watched the video and I saw those sort of false disclaimers, we're responsible, don't hold the captain, the admiral responsible, clearly others knew. This was broadcast to 6,000 sailors on this vessel. Word of this was everywhere. So is this now going to become sort of like a virus that spreads through to the higher ranks in the Navy as information about this is tracked to other people?
I don't believe so. I think what you have to look at it, and I believe the Navy's going to do a complete and thorough investigation, but I think you're going to find it is an isolated incident. If it does begin to expand and show that this behavior is normal, then clearly the Navy is going to have to reset and re-educate some of the value systems in their senior officers, and I believe that they have the capability of doing that.
Well, assuming he keeps his position, what would you recommend? I mean, what do you see as appropriate punishment or whatever the repercussions are?
What I think you're going to see is he'll probably get a senior officer counseling on this type of behavior and how he should never have put himself in that position. And I think they're going to judge his performance throughout his entire command tour to determine his suitability for a future in the Navy. I don't think we should relieve him off the cuff just to satisfy some social desire for political correctness. I think we have to look at the sum total of his performance on board throughout his executive officer tour and now his commanding officer tour before they make any snap decision. And the investigation should run its course as well.